Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. And with me today is two special guests from our science department. We have Adrian Britton, Senior Coordinator for Science, and Ashonda Bickham, our Science Teacher Specialist. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you.
We are excited. It's an important time of year every parent looks forward to, which is Science Fair. It's coming up. The district-wide Science Fair is coming up. Ashonda, when is it? Where is it? And what grade levels are participating?
So our 14th annual District Science Fair will take place at Nauticus, Maritime Science Center and Museum, located in downtown Waterfront, Norfolk. Scholars in grades 3 through 6 will participate. It is on Saturday, February the 17th.
And I am so happy because I spent my Christmas vacation, I wish it was summer, but my Christmas vacation working on a 4th grade science project. So I like to see what happens at her school. So a parent like myself and others that are coming, Adrian, what should we expect to see out of some of these science projects?
Sure. The District Science Fair and the Science Fair in the buildings in general provide opportunities for our students to display scientific inquiry. Scientific inquiry is aligned to the scientific investigation standards of the state standards of learning. These projects then will provide opportunities for our students to display innovative, creative ideas a question that they want to explore. And they create display boards, PowerPoint presentations, to explain the facts and answer these questions. Our students really look forward to the science fair and displaying these 21st century skills that are extremely important and beneficial in this day and age.
Ashonda, how many projects will be on display?
So we will have 102 projects from our scholars in grades 3 through 5 and 22 PowerPoint presentations from our 6th grade scholars.
How do students qualify to be in the science fair?
So on a school level, the winners in grades 3 through 5 from each school move on to the District Science Fair, and then the 1st and 2nd place winners at middle school move on to the District Science Fair.
Do students in every school participate?
They absolutely do.
Mm-hmm. So commonly, say if they win, Adrian, and it's time to come to the district-wide science fair, do they get a chance to change their project, or does it stay the same, or does it continue?
Mm-hmm. So the District Science Fair is held at Nauticus, and the space in which our boards are displayed is limited. And so because of that, if any display boards, any projects are in the building level, if they contain any type of 3-dimensional features, either fixed to the board or freestanding on the tables, those things would need to be removed. And as I stated, it's primarily because of the space constraints. Although Nauticus is a very large museum, we want to ensure that every project has a fair space in which to be displayed and judged.
Right, right. So Ashonda, are there any changes to the science fair requirements this year?
Yes, there is one major change to the science fair this year that we are super excited about because it represents growth. We will have 2 awards ceremonies this year as opposed to our one traditional one. Grades 3 through 4 will have their own award ceremony as grades 5 through 6. As a result of the amount of participation from students, as well as the number of supporters that come to support their scholars, their grandmothers, their parents, the siblings, and it is amazing to see them come in with all of their family behind them.
Yes, because we want to see how our babies,
we want you to
how
be
we
there.
all worked hard on these science fair projects.
Absolutely.
And Adrian, who judges these science fair projects?
Sure. So the over 100 projects are judged by members of our community. We solicit the support of over 50 judges from the STEM careers. So we'll have judges from the military, from the shipyards. We'll have engineers that represent chemical engineering, electrical engineering, technical engineering. We'll have folks from the medical professions, pharmacists. We even had a mortician last year.
Really?
And we'll also have representatives from the higher ed universities. So we have support from Tidewater Community College, Old Dominion University, as well as Norfolk State University and Regent University.
Wow. So what are the judges looking for when they're looking at these projects?
The judges use a standard rubric, and before the judging takes place, the judges are trained to use that rubric. So while the students are preparing in our opening ceremony, the judges are actually away in the conference room being trained to ensure that they understand the expectations and know how to use that rubric to ensure consistency as they are judging. Many of our judges have participated with us for several years, and we can continue to grow, and those numbers of judges increase because they're excited about it and they share it with the folks in their at their jobs, and they bring others with them.
And this is always an exciting time of the year for our students and for our teachers too. But
Absolutely.
what else is happening in science education?
Okay. The first thing I'd like to highlight is the fact that our teachers at the elementary and secondary levels have been involved in detailed professional development that aligns with rigor and literacy. And through that, teachers have been designing standards-aligned lesson plans that embed before, during, and after reading strategies into our science lessons. In addition to that, our teachers and students have been provided opportunities to work with members of the community, again, to grow in their instructional pedagogy and skills. The one main change that we're preparing for is that the state standards for science are being revised, and we're looking forward to them being approved this school year, the 2018, this calendar year, sometime in this calendar year. Although the standards will change this year, our students will not be assessed on those standards until the 2020-2021 school year, and thus providing the school district an opportunity and a chance to realign standards and change our teaching styles and habits.
Yeah. Well, tell us about some of our partnerships. You alluded to some who help with the science fair, but what are some of the partnerships we have?
Sure. Our first, the partnership that we have with Nauticus is our longest standing partnership. Of the 14 science fairs that we've had, district-wide science fairs that we've had, 13 have been at Nauticus. Old Dominion University has been extremely instrumental in not only providing teacher training, but working with our students as well. At the elementary level, a partnership with Old Dominion and the Elizabeth River Project has enhanced our understanding of resilience and sea level rise. In fact, there's a small cohort of students at Chesterfield Academy who serves on the Youth Leadership Council for Resilience, working with the Elizabeth River Project. In addition to our work with elementary, at the middle school level, we have a partnership with Old Dominion through a grant where our middle school teachers are learning about argument-driven inquiry. And that type of pedagogy ensures is a research-based strategy that ensures enhancement in scientific literacy. And at the secondary level for high schools as well, we have a partnership with Old Dominion that is providing environmental literacy to our high schoolers on green infrastructure.
And I noticed Booker T just did a garden that they
Yes.
created in that dead space that they have now, but that is awesome.
Yes,
a lot of
absolutely.
great things happening in science. So real quick, Ashonda, recap for us the Science Fair projects event.
So our 14th annual District Science Fair will take place at Nauticus, Maritime Science Center Museum, located in downtown waterfront Norfolk, on Saturday, February the 17th. Our scholars in grades 3 through 6 will have their projects and PowerPoints on display, and we would love for all of Hampton Roads to come out and support our scholars with us.
Yes, the parents and grandparents and everybody will
Yes,
definitely
everyone.
be there. Thank you, ladies, for coming on the show today.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio, we have a former alumni from Booker T. Washington High School and a current NFL player with the Detroit Lions, Don Carey. Welcome, Don.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate you taking some time to come down here to talk a little bit about yourself and some of the things that are going on in your life that we think that can be beneficial for some of our student athletes to hear. So let's talk about first growing up in, you're not from Norfolk originally. No. So you grew up in Grand Rapids. So talk a little bit about that, and then how'd you get to Norfolk?
Sure. For the first 13 years of my life, myself, my 3 sisters, and my mother were in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was an interesting time in my life. Definitely set the character for who I am today. Not going to say we were dead poor, but we had some struggles. My mother was reconnected by to an old friend by my auntie, who had spent some time with her in the Navy. And next thing I know, literally within the span of a month, we moved from Grand Rapids down to Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. So you got to Norfolk. You're a young 9th grader, and you're enrolled at Booker T. So talk a little bit about being at Booker T as a student athlete.
It was definitely a culture shock, coming from Grand Rapids, where a good bit of the city was my family, right? And I went to high school, my first semester with my older cousins, coming down to Booker T, which was drastically different. The environment was different. I didn't know anyone. And I always tell people, you have to be a different individual to walk through those halls. Okay. Not to say you have to be better or worse, just different. So it was an adjustment for me, but I grew to love it, though.
So growing up in Grand Rapids, did you play football from the young age?
Since I was 5.
Okay, so
I've played since I was 5 years old.
All right, so Booker T got somebody when you showed up ready to roll, and I know Coach Stepney was happy about that.
Funny story. So my mom and I went up to the school to talk to Coach Stepney, and she introduces me as this is my son. A boy is bad. Like she said in that. And Coach says, yeah, but he's small though. That was his first thought of me. But he's been a great role model and influence in my life. Even to this day, we talk all the time.
Great.
Yeah.
So being at Booker T, and then obviously you went on to Norfolk State, how did Booker T kind of help shape some of your values moving forward? Oh,
man. Being around individuals like Coach Stepney really set the character of who I am. Just kind of like my upbringing. He was one of those individuals who cared more about the student than he did the athlete. I mean, he's a great coach. We had some successful teams there, but he cared about us as men and the type of men that we were growing up to be. So he really worked hard to instill within us principles that many of us didn't have, because a lot of us didn't have father figures at home. So he did a great job of that. From the educational side, I got my love for technology and architectural drafting from classes I took at Booker T. So off of whims, I took a technical drawing class, one of my best friends, and didn't think I would like it. I ended up finishing the curriculum half the semester, and then move on to the CAD program. And when I graduated Booker T, I went to Norfolk State, and I majored in building construction technology.
All right, so that's a good lead in Norfolk State. You got recruited by Norfolk State.
I did. Well, not initially.
Okay.
I did not. So I made a highlight tape and I sent it to Norfolk State. It's before Coach Adrian was hired. And the coach then I'm going to say Coach Giles was his name, slips me now. But he pretty much responded and said, hey, man, we don't think you have the skill set. I was a small kid. You know, I graduated 145 pounds. I was small. And he didn't think that I had what it takes to play on the D1 level. So they denied me a scholarship or a walk-on opportunity. That regime passes. Pete Adrian comes several months later, and I'm one of the first individuals he calls for a full ride.
Okay, great. So going through that process, and a lot of our student athletes go through that process, they have multiple offers. Did you have any other offer out there to attend the school to play football?
I had partial scholarships to several places. Nothing, no full rides. I had academic scholarships, several academic scholarships I could have took advantage of. Villanova, Richmond, stuff like that, but Norfolk State was the only full ride that I received.
Okay, so obviously you're at Norfolk State, you go through your 4 years, and then after that, man, something special happens. You get drafted. So
I get drafted, and I didn't think I was going to get drafted. The process that I went through up until the end of the season was something that happened to, you know, a bunch of players coming from Norfolk State. You will always see scouts coming in. You would always see them pulling guys aside, talking to them, going in meeting rooms, watching film. So the process of scouts coming in to see me wasn't anything different from what I've seen before. And we had some great players come through that could have made it to the NFL, in my opinion. The thing that kind of really made me think I have a shot is at the end of the season, when the agents began to call and individuals not only wanted to sign me but pay for my training. That was something that was different. I started to think maybe I have a shot, right? And once I went down to train and I saw the competition I was up against and other DBs, I really got the feeling that I belong here. I can do this, right? So I was invited to the East-West Shrine Games, first in school history. I was invited to the Combine, and there I performed very well.
All right. So, so talk a little bit about, now you've been in the league for about 9 years now.
Just finished my 9th season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about the experience to date.
Oh man, the NFL is everything you would hope to be and a bit more. You know, Sundays, I do Sundays for free, right? And I get paid for Monday through Saturday. That's what I tell people all the time. Just the feeling of running out of the tunnel, the feeling of making a play and 70,000 people cheering your name, man, it's hard to put that in words. But I've loved every minute of it. It is extremely time-consuming, the amount of studying and preparation, but the reward for it is something that makes it worth it.
Okay. So the NFL for you, and what I see for a lot of players, it's a platform. And you have a couple things going on. So talk about you know, your community service, and you were recognized in I think 2016 with the Walter Payton Award. So talk a little bit about that and how special that was.
Sure. So my love for the community and my passion for giving back really stems from my stepdad. Growing up, I watched him give so much. Even to this day, he's giving back to the community. You know, he's coaching at Azalea Garden. He started a nonprofit called Preps, which prepares high school athletes for, you know, college and SATs and things of that nature. And he would also bring family members into the home, allow them to stay with us for free. They go to school and they get back on their feet, and then he would help them find a place to stay. So I grew up watching that, and it kind of permeated into who I am, right? So I'm just doing what I was taught to do. I love giving back. I believe those in a position such as mine or any position of success should give back, because it's important for our youth to see individuals who look like them come back and then show them in a tangible way that it's possible to succeed.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned a few minutes ago that you got at Booker T, you were involved in the technology program, and you started something in Detroit called the STEAM program. Yeah. So talk a little bit about that and how that's evolved.
Right. So STEAM, for those who don't know, stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Mathematics. And in 2014, I co-founded a STEM youth literacy program. We didn't have the art component into it at that point. And the purpose of that was to try to engage elementary school, K through 8, about reading, but then also introduce them to some STEM topics. Right, we were working with several companies who had middle school and high school programs. We were trying to help establish a pipeline to get them through that sector, simply because we believe that individuals who have degrees in the STEM sector have a better shot at being productive citizens. So we were blessed. We passed out thousands of books to youth. I mean, at no cost to them. It was our joy to pay for those things, and our sponsors, of course. But once my wife and I branched away from that organization, we started our own nonprofit called the Don Carey Reach Foundation.
Okay.
Reach stands for Reaching, Educating, and Empowering Children in the Area of STEM. And we started several programs. We have our STEAM Youth Football Camp, which is a summer one-day program for around 350 students ages 6 to 18. And they will spend half the day on the field with me, right, doing football drills. Who doesn't like hanging out with an NFL player? I wish I was able to do it more at a young age. But then in the other half of the day, they're with companies in the area, in the STEM sector, that's teaching them what they do in an effort to get them excited and maybe want to join on with such company, when the time comes.
So is this something that, I know Norfolk Public Schools is looking at that, but is this something that you could bring into Norfolk to maybe assist in a camp-like atmosphere for?
Oh yes. I'm already in talks of hosting something like that. We have to lock down the venue and the date, but it is something that I plan to bring here, plus many more. The STEAM football camp is just one facet that we have going on with the Reach Foundation. We literally have the ability to take our students from where they are now to retirement with our programs. We can help them map out their journey. We can help them with collegiate preparation or vocational preparation if college is not the route they want to go to. And I am excited to bring those things here.
Yeah, we're excited too. So now recently you stopped by Booker T and were able to talk to a number of students. So what kind of message were you trying to get out that day?
Sure, I wanted to give them a few principles of things that really matter to me, right? And there's 4 easy points, and I'll recant them if you don't mind. The first one was passion versus talent. So many individuals have several talents, right? They can do several things very well, and they can make money doing those several things. But it's the things that you're passionate about that give you the best chance of rising to the top of that field. And so many people don't follow their passion, rather they follow their talent, be it because of social norms, be it because of peer pressure. But I wanted to talk to them about following your passion instead of talents, right? And never let societal norms or others dictate the level of their significance, but rather work hard every day to show them why they need someone such as themselves. And point 2 was to educate themselves about the things they're passionate about. So passion is awesome, but there's a saying that says, passion is the wind that blows out the flame of the mind. And by that, if you're so passionate that you never really think about what's going on and act in a logical way, then you run the risk of being very busy but not very productive. So individuals who are passionate about something and educated about something have a higher chance of being successful in that field. For example, if I was passionate about being a doctor but I didn't educate myself about the human anatomy, I'm not going to go very far.
Yeah. Good example.
Right. Thirdly was to be audacious, just have the nerve to step out and branch out and do something different, and oftentimes it takes individuals willing to step out of the norm to do things, and dare to be themselves. One time Kobe Bryant said he didn't become great until he took Michael Jordan's poster down, until he dared to be himself, right? And now we know who he is, one of the greatest of all times. So yeah, those were the lastly, I'm sorry, to be consistent, have a stick-to-itiveness to you. The young man who made the movie Get Out, it slips my mind. Everyone loves that movie, came out last year, but it took him around 10 years to make that film, right? 10 years in the making. So you have to be committed along with your passion and your intelligence. So.
Okay, so you have a book that we could probably find these 4 points in. So talk about that book and give us the title.
Right, so all these principles I found in the book and many more. But it's entitled "It's Not Because I'm Better Than You," and the purpose of the book stems from the travels and speaking to young adults, high school, college students, some corporations, and I'm always asked, how do I become this 9-year NFL player? How do I become known as the best at what I do in the NFL? And I always tell people it's not because I'm better than them. And by that, I mean there are many variables that come into play other than my talent. I've never been the smartest, fastest, strongest, most talented player on any level, from Booker T on up. But I've always been able to succeed. And I write down those principles that I believe that have helped me get to where I am. And I think it's something that can help the reader as well. It doesn't matter the area of vocation you want or what you want to be in life. It's not something that's specific to football players or athletes in general. I have examples because I believe that football really it really carries over to so much, right? So many other vocations, but it's something that I think can help a lot of people.
Okay. Don, I mean, this is great information. I mean, we hope all our student athletes, and not just student athletes, but students in general, can take a glimpse of this and listen to your message, because you got a powerful one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming down here, and we hope to see you around the community helping us out.
Sure. And if you don't mind, if the viewers would like to get the book, they can get it from Amazon.com.
Okay.
Or they can, if they want a signed copy, they can go to notbetterthanyou.com. And order from there, and I would send them a signed copy myself.
Right.
And if you want to learn more about the Reach Foundation, you can go to our website, reachfoundation.org, REECH foundation.org.
All right, great. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I have two very special guests with me today, school counselors in our schools. The first one is Bianca Gregory. She's a school counselor at Jaycox Elementary. And then we have Dave Bunting, who's a school counselor at Granby High School. Welcome to NPS Now. I'm glad to have you guys here today to talk about, it is National School Counselors Week coming up. And so we want to honor you all. But first, you were the two special chosen counselors to come on the show to highlight. So I need to know a little bit about your background. So tell me about you.
This is my 11th school year with Norfolk Public Schools. I started at Campus Elementary School in Tanners Creek, and I'm currently serving as a school counselor at Jaycox Elementary School.
Awesome. What about you, Dave?
I've been counseling Norfolk Public Schools about 20 years. I was originally started in social work and had my master's degree in social work. So I came from family and child counseling and social work, and then came into school counseling, and also obtained my educational specialist degree from George Washington University.
Awesome, great. So Bianca, why did you want to become a school counselor?
I had two amazing counselors when I was in high school, one my freshman year and then one my junior and senior year, who really, really shaped me. They helped prepare me for college with scholarships. They were always very supportive and helpful, and they really shaped me into who I am today. And so I felt if I could do that, and if I could help someone the way they helped me, I would be doing my part.
That's good. How about you, Dave?
Well, I just really love education, and when I was working with families and children in the social work field, I just really realized that I was dealing with a lot of school-related issues, and how important that quality teaching and learning, and how invested the parents were in the child's education, really made a world of difference in the the family's health and well-being. So that's when I switched over. It was a natural fit for me to combine the counseling with the education piece. And also, you get a chance to do a lot of wear a lot of different hats, so
Yes.
it kind of keeps you. There's a lot of action. I can be working with a emotional need of a child, but at the same time filling out college applications or trying to get them into the military. So there's the variety is wonderful at this school counseling.
Yeah, because I'm going to get to that. What are some of your primary responsibilities?
Oh, I have so many. I'm over the character education program at my school. I'm over Student of the Month, PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Support. I have our school's Honor Society, the National Junior Beta Club. I, of course, do classroom guidance, individual sessions, career day, you name it. My hand is usually involved in it.
Dave, what are your primary responsibilities?
Well, we're responsible for social, emotional, and academic growth of the children. We're really trying to move the high school students to be prepared for the world of work and for being prepared and ready for college admissions as well. Yeah. So we have a lot of the academic individual planning. We're really trying to work with what their career goals are and what courses we have to offer in high school that can kind of match up with that. We do a lot of classroom sessions, trying to prepare the seniors for, whether it's financial aid or college applications or what the graduation requirements are. I'm also responsible for scholarships in the building, so we're trying to find money for students to go to college through scholarships. And we're really a contact for the parents, so we're coordinating with the parents, whatever questions parents have, and organizing parent-teacher conferences and things like that, along with teachers giving us referral for students that have needs that will help with their academic progress, as well as whatever administrators need as well to help.
Mm-hmm. So how do you, Bianca, collaborate with parents?
Well, I'm also the truancy officer, so one of the ways I collaborate with parents is helping them navigate middle school applications. So that's one way we support any programs we have in the building. If parents have questions about middle school, some parents come back and ask about high school. We collaborate on academics if they're having concerns in the classroom, want to set up meetings with teachers or administrators. I'm a supporter of that. So we collaborate quite a bit with parents. Any programs that we have going on in the building, parents know they can come to me and ask.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, two different perspectives on the elementary and high school level. So for you, Dave, how do you collaborate with parents?
Right, and it's interesting because a lot of it is similar. We're working even with our attendance counselors now, making phone calls home when the students are not in the building. So we're collaborating with parents on attendance issues, but also we're the go-to people for the parents in regards to communication. So whether the student's out for an illness, we're working with the parents to see what they can make up. Also, when we are working with the students in the academic planning, we do a whole 4-year plan that then they can take this home, work with the parents. So we're collaborating with parents to find out, okay, what are the courses that are best for your student? What are your student's career goals, and how can we work with you? So we send those items home, as well as we might do a career assessment and interest inventory to find out what their values and their interests are and what maybe they match with career-wise, so we can help in that area, and we'll collaborate with the parents on those as well. So.
Yeah. So how do you do this on the elementary level to support academic performance for students and help staff?
Well, academic performance, I know each semester each quarter I look at students about their grades, and if they're not doing their very best, I pull them in small group and I can work with them on study skills. So I'll go into a classroom session on how they can how do they learn best? How can I help the teachers help students learn better? Collaborating with parents on this is what your child's strengths are. How can we help them do better in the classrooms? How can we pull grades up? We also have after-school tutoring where we get parents involved that way. I'm the person that sends a lot of information home, trying to get parents involved.
Right, Dave. So what kind of new initiatives on the secondary level are you implementing with the students?
Well, some of the new initiatives, we have a lot of students, and sometimes it takes us a while to meet individually, say with our new 9th grade students. So we might collaborate with the health and PE department, and we'll go in and do small groups and things to introduce ourselves as their counselor, so they can get to know us. We may go into the classrooms in career and technical ed to do a Virginia Wizard program where we match their values and interests with certain careers and things like that. We also had a new initiative with our seniors. We meet comprehensively one-on-one with them about college and military and graduation requirements. But this year we went into the classrooms with the senior English teachers, and we got out early ahead of the game to let them know about graduation requirements as well. So we met with the students and brought their transcripts in and explained to each one of them what they needed early on, and then we could go back and then meet individually about their particular career pathway and things like that. So those are a couple. We also did a Virginia College week where we coupled with the schools in Virginia,
Right.
where they gave them the opportunity in the classroom setting to work on their college applications, and in turn the Virginia colleges waived their application fee. So it was valuable for the students to get a head start and to receive a fee waiver for all those application fees.
Right. So Bianca, how do school counselors support on this level here for students?
Well, on the elementary level, while we want to make sure our students are college and career ready, especially when they get to high school, in elementary, it's more about exploration. So while in high school they're going on Virginia Wizard, in elementary school we take them on Virginia Career View so they can explore and they can see, okay, these are the type of careers I could be interested in, but based on what I like to do, hey, I could explore all these other options. Every year we do a career fair where I have 50 to 60 people who come in the building and share their career with my students. In high school, they do academic and career play. On the elementary school level, we do it with our 5th grade students. We do academic and career plans. So we talk about what's ahead in middle school. What are the classes that are available to me? We talk about electives and more responsibilities. So we're on the elementary school trying to prepare them that while we give you so much on elementary school, more independence and more responsibility is coming to you. Picking your electives, making sure you go to class on time. At Jaycox, we institute a Yums Cafe where we invite the middle schools over. It stands for You Understand Middle School. When they come over and they share about their particular programs, we talk with students about preparing for those essays for the middle school applications, and I also have classroom guidance and small group counseling with students about high school graduation requirements, middle school opportunities that are available to them.
This is awesome. You have 11 and 20 years of experience in school counseling, so you have to tell me, what do you love most about being a school counselor, Dave?
I love the variety of school counseling. There's never a dull moment in the school counseling. You're going from the minute the day starts to the end, helping families and children, and that's just the wonderful part about it. And seeing them come back from college to visit, or seeing them come back in their military uniform, or hearing about their apprenticeship job at the Newport News shipyard or something like that. So seeing where they ended up and makes you proud and makes you keep going, doing what you do.
Right, right.
I love seeing the growth of children, because a lot of my students I have from when they're in pre-K to 5th grade, and they come back when they get to high school, they come back and they share about their experience, and they tell you how much you helped them, how much you've, even though right then it might not have sunk in, it always sinks in, and that you can help them academically and emotionally to prepare them for the world, and seeing them come back and seeing them grow. Because some of my students now, they're seniors in high school and they're preparing for colleges, and Ms. Gregory, what do you think about this? And they value you. They come back and they share their experiences. I love the children. I love how they love you and how you can pour into them and mold them and shape them into their future people, who they are going to be in the future.
Well, we know they're going to recognize you all for National School Counselors Week. So thank you both for coming on the show this week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.